My answer to that is ignorance is bliss.
Very true.
Just so you know, Tammy Faye Baker died on my birthday in 2007.
Happy birthday to you.
2007. Oh,
Yeah, so July 20th, 2007. So there you go.
I'm assuming she
died
drowned in
of
her own
colon-
mascara?
No, colon cancer, ironically enough.
Oh, that's not funny.
Yeah, it's a shitty disease.
I mean, if she was going to go out, she
joke.
could have at least gone out like, Mad Mike. I mean,
Yeah, right? Send out the fucking rocket.
I would like all flat earthers to go out like Mad Mike.
I would just like all flat earthers to come on my show once.
Oh, they're the greatest people on the planet, I have to admit. There's so much
I love
fun.
their brochure or that one comment that they made. We had flat earthers come to our conference from all around the world.
All around the globe. All around the globe. It's so good.
I've always taken the stance with them that, and with a lot of these ideas, if you tell me the Earth is flat, so what? What changes if you're right? Really, nothing changes.
No, everything changes. Pretty much everything in physics changes.
But how technically
if we found out that we were wrong and the Earth was actually flat all along, nothing changes. We go to work tomorrow. We do our
I'm pretty
podcast.
sure there's 11 people right now looking down at us, yelling, "We're not flat, guys. We're looking at y'all." I mean, and I argued this with somebody because they were saying something about the Earth being flat. Oh, well, it could be flat. And I'm like, no. I said, when you get out into the total vacuum of space, the natural state of objects when they come together in space is to form a sphere.
That's right.
I said, so what are the chances that in our entire solar system that ours is the only one that's shaped like a Frisbee?
Well, that's because God created it that way. That's the difference. God made the spear. God made the shield.
And he put a dome over it.
That's right.
We launched nuclear missiles so we could hit the dome. And, I've heard all those different arguments where it's like, oh, when a nuclear missile goes off, that mushroom cloud, the reason it domes back around and starts rolling back around is because it's hitting the top of the dome.
That's right, yeah.
I thought the dome was just so that people in heaven didn't have to smell poor people.
I don't probably. And then I've heard one that I think he goes by Flat Earth Jesus. He's another flat earther, and he thinks that the moon is actually hollow, and it's a hand blown glass globe that was put there by giants.
Yes. And
really?
the sun is no bigger than the moon as well, which is
I've heard that
the size
one.
of a large
the sun
enterprise.
is no bigger than the moon, but so
And it's like try to explain gravity to them, and they're like, no, gravity doesn't exist. We're accelerating at
Upwards.
1,000 miles per hour straight up. That's why everything is held down.
My favorite of all things is the Pac-Man theory. Is the greatest thing I've ever heard in my life, which is what happens if you hit the edge of the Earth? Well, you just reappear on the other side.
If anybody gets
The Pac-Man theory.
Go onto YouTube and look up Astronomy Live. That guy is awesome. He does all these different types of astronomy videos and stuff, and he debates the hell out of some flat earthers all the time. Red's Rhetoric and Astronomy Live, those two actually get together on a show all the time, and they bring on flat earthers like every Saturday to debate with them.
Wow.
And it's like they leave these guys just crying, and it's like, because I've heard them get so mad. The guy that runs Astronomy Live, because he's like a mathematician and stuff, and he'll start yelling on the air, "I can't believe how dumb you are! You don't even know how to do math."
Well, neither does NASA, apparently. That's a different argument. So, wow, it's already. I could do this all night. I'm having so much fun. Just
Let's go for it. My episodes generally run about 2 hours.
Yeah, we have been too, and there's a lot more we could talk about. Just really. Well,
Normally,
Sorry, Gord.
I was going to say, normally I'd be all over. This is like a fucking 5-hour episode, but this fat fuck is tired.
We were supposed to do 5 hours yesterday, and I got shot down miserably.
Did we hit 3? I think we hit 3, didn't we? It was
Yeah,
only
it
2.
was just over 2. Yeah, and that was a really just a phenomenal episode. So I guess on that note,
I was just going to say, I guess, oh no, Mike, we did a huge, big episode, Seas Valley episode on talking about religion, Christianity more specifically, and talk about basically the belief of God, if it exists, and can you prove Eric that he's wrong and that God is a viable thing. And now Texans take their religion pretty goddamn seriously. That's true, right?
I got a death threat after my first book published because it's a fiction book. It's about a zombie apocalypse. I had Patient Zero started in my hometown where I'm at. And I just happened to take the layout of the city and stuff, and I centered the story around all that. And I had one of the main characters in the book. They were exploring some of the empty houses and stuff, trying to find supplies, and they stumbled across this church, and they went in, and the entire congregation had committed mass suicide in there. And, okay.
It's a great start.
Fine, right? But then I get an email. This guy is sending me a death threat because I didn't think about it. I am in Texas. You cannot throw a rock without hitting a church.
Yes.
And the block in my book that I described was a church.
I got a similar an email from someone because I wrote a short story where God comes down and talks to a man, and the guy in the end ends up committing suicide. And I got schooled for it's like a 3-page email about how no one would ever commit suicide after they spoke to God because you would be so moved by the conversation that you just would never consider something like that. And again, fiction. As you said, it's fiction.
Yep. Yep. Just like all the other books that were written 2,000 years
Right?
Oh, should have had you on. That would have been fun.
Say what?
We actually had a minister on that's an atheist.
Mm-hmm.
Dude. And
wasn't that what her? Yeah, that was her thing. She's an atheist, but she is still a minister.
Is that Lutheran minister?
Oh, she was agnostic. She wasn't atheist. She was agnostic.
Sorry, she was agnostic.
No. I'm sorry. I've sat in on so many debates on agnostic versus atheist. It's like, okay, look. Yeah, I can understand that you don't know, and you're going to say, I don't know, there's not enough to believe. Well, you're an atheist then.
Yeah.
That's what I tried to say, that you can't be a functioning agnostic. You either believe or you don't. I was actually quite impressed with the way the conversation went. I think if those are two examples of where religion is headed, I'm quite pleased with it.
I think it's heading down the tubes because too many people are starting to educate themselves. They're tired of being force-fed fairy tales and everything their whole lives. And you find that people that start to think for themselves outside of the religious communities and stuff like that, they start realizing, oh, I can't blame everything that I'm doing on something else and just say, oop, forgive me. I'm responsible for what I do.
Sure. Is it a good thing that everyone's educating themselves, do you think? I personally think it's fantastic. I mean,
I think it's fantastic because we all know what happens if we just go blindly into the night believing in all these. Somebody tells me, all right, I've had somebody ask me, well, do you believe in God? And I'm like, which one?
Right, sure.
There's currently 4,500 of them that in the world today are acknowledged. And they're like, what? No, the only one. No, 4,500 of them. Why is yours right versus this Hindu who's got 1,200, or this Buddhist who they've got a certain amount that they go for? Or what about this tribe down in Ecuador? They've got their version, and then you go over here. I said, right now, 105,000 different denominations of Christianity just in the United States, and all of you think you're right.
It's amazing.
And yet, really, we all know it's just me and Gord are right. And
yep.
I think there is so much stuff that we believed over the years that it just is ridiculous. And I think that's the part that baffles me is no one steps back and just goes, wait a minute, this doesn't make sense. Whether it's something religion says, whether it's something Trump says, generally you can just step back and go, wait a minute. Let's think about this logically for a second.
I've had way too many accounts on Twitter blocked by Ken Ham.
Yeah, I can't seem to get enough footing on Twitter to get blocked.
I've got like 6 Twitter accounts. I've got like 6 Twitter accounts for different aspects that I do for my show, my art, and stuff like that. And I think every single one of them has now officially been blocked by Ken Ham because I debate him all the time on there.
Oh, that's so great. All right, Eric, we've had it like,
I'm sorry. You spent $100 million on a boat that doesn't float. And that we know that every biblical scholar in the world will tell you that's a myth.
Yeah. Well, yeah, even the measurements in the Bible proved it wrong. If you actually go by the biblical measurements, so
you go looking at you talk to biblical scholars and archaeologists in Israel, and they'll tell you, look, the Exodus across the desert that never happened.
Yeah, I love that one meme I saw that it showed the route, and it was like 12 kilometers or something like that. It should have taken him about a day and a half. Yeah,
and then you get Google Maps tells you it should take you only about 9 hours to walk it.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then you've got it's just insanity. Some of the stuff that people put their put their faith in because they lack something in their lives.
Do you see a revolution of sorts in the States? Is there a point where people are just going to have to admit it, and that's going to destroy a lot of American lives? But sooner or later, people are going to have to just go, shit, they're wrong. Christianity is wrong.
I don't know if anybody's ever going to come out right and say it's wrong, because even with me, can I know for a 100% fact?
Oh, not until it doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah, but science has proven so much. We know there was no Adam and Eve. There was an evolution that happened on this planet. And I didn't come from no damn monkey. You're absolutely correct. You didn't come from a monkey. Both you and the monkey have a common ancestor, though. And so it's really interesting. I go into a lot. Biology is one of my favorite subjects. My oldest son actually was getting an advanced degree in evolutionary biology. Wow. And then my second oldest son is getting his degree in theoretical physics and engineering.
Wow.
So, yeah, you should hear the conversations that happen around here.
No, that'd just be amazingly fun.
And we top it all in with Marvel and DC.
Well, of course. It all ties in.
It's the next logical step, really.
Absolutely.
If there's no God, there has to be X-Men, right?
Well, yeah, that's gradual mutation.
That scares the crap out of me. The day there's X-Men, I'm done. I'm not. I can't even handle the Roomba.
Fight me.
So, why don't we? I can tell we're losing Gord here. Why don't we, real quick? Where can people hear you? Where can they buy your book? Where can they make you rich?
Okay, well, make me rich, I guess. I mean, money's not my driving factor, never has been. But if you guys want to find my book, it's on Amazon. It's called Apoc Z by Michael Symonds, and my last name is spelled Symonds. And if you want to listen to my show, the easiest way to get a hold of me or my show is just go to our website. It's anythinggoesproject.com. There are links to everything I do. I've even put up, just recently, I just put up a whole separate page. Is tools and resources for people that are wanting to possibly start podcasting.
And it is a fantastic website. I really like that. I actually want to copy it because it's just very streamlined. There's no bells and whistles. It's just it's a great website.
It's very simple to set up. Squarespace.com.
And that's anythinggoesproject.com, or is it just anythinggoes.com?
anythinggoesproject.com. There is another channel or podcast that's called Anything Goes. I've had battles back and forth with them because you stole our name, and I'm like, dude, I got podcasts that are 10 years older than your show.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind.
Thank you. Move on, Dick.
It's such a thing. Well, really, does it have to be a fight? Does it have to be a legal thing?